Today we're talking with Miranda Bricker from Dover Hall. So we're going to bring her on in here and ask her a bunch of questions. Just as a reminder of what this whole series is, we are not video people. I give this disclaimer on every video. We don't know what we're doing. There's you might hear my child scream from downstairs with my husband. It's fine. We're just rolling with it. But we're all home planning events. We have a ton of events happening this fall and next year. We're planning, so we're inviting everybody to come plan with us because we know a lot of you are newly engaged or will have an event coming up soon and might not be super into starting the planning right now, but we want you, when you're ready, to feel like you've done a little bit of homework and know who's who out there. So we hope this is helpful. But let's go ahead and bring Miranda in. Oh, there she is. Hi.
You faded in so nicely.
I clicked the button and then your name went away and then I don't know. So
challenge, so I would never be able to do what you guys are doing right now.
No, this is perfect. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
For having me.
We're just gonna throw some random questions at you, but first, do you have anything to say about your PJs or what are you sipping on? Tell us.
Yeah. Welcome to my home. I had to make a very strange sitting spot right in front of the closest window I could find. And Perfect. I thought what better place to do it than my bedroom. So here's
your lighting looks great. None of us are professional at this. While some of our speaker friends have those ring lights. Nope.
No, I don't have things like that.
Just line candles up.
My biggest guilty pleasure coffee, I only drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which is a very strange specification to have. So that's what I'm drinking right now is some Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Nice. Cozy. We've had a few people show up with champagne, which has been fun. So
that would be nice. That's an even better idea.
Yeah. Alex Tenzer had both. She had her coffee and her champagne ready to go.
Of course she did.
Yes. She even said that. Very on brand for her. Well, we want to hear a little bit about Dover Hall. So for those that haven't been there before and haven't met you, tell us a little bit about Dover and also your story. How did you end up doing what you do there?
Yeah. So Dover Hall is a giant English Tudor-inspired estate house in Manakin-Sabot, Virginia. So it's about equidistant between Richmond and Charlottesville. We have a really large 33,000 square foot event space there. We do only private events and weddings. It definitely is a very secluded, all-inclusive wedding venue. So we do usually weddings year-round. We try to make sure that the experience there is really just unique and exclusive so that people are really only seeing themselves and their guests there for wedding days. And we do everything we can to work in the background with vendors to make sure that guests come and just get to enjoy their days. We actually had a new video tour made that I'd love to share with you guys. That was really fun. Jada and David from J&D Photo came and did a full day tour. It was kind of like filming Cribs. House, we showed everyone around and it was really fun. But it's kind of a great introductory tour for people to see what the space is like before they're there, just because it's such a specific place. And I've been in weddings for almost 5 years now. My 100th wedding is scheduled to come up this year, which is really crazy.
Oh my God.
But it was something I kind of just fell into. It was never anything that I dreamed of or planned of doing. I went to Virginia Tech for college and I was a hospitality major and turned out a wedding venue. I forgot you went to Tech too. Go Hokies. I was a hospitality major and did a field study internship at a wedding venue in Charlottesville, which is where I'm from. And I just kind of remember seeing my first wedding there and working and being you know what, this is really cool. I could see myself doing this and being successful in this. And then I moved to Richmond right after graduation to work at another venue that's in the Richmond area, and was there for about 1.5 years, and then got connected with Dover Hall when they were rebuilding their sales team. And I've been there ever since.
Well, tell us a little bit about the history at Dover Hall.
So Dover Hall initially was built as a private residence. So there was a husband and wife team that did fully conceptualize the space and built it from the ground up. Definitely is very lavish in terms of a residence. It's a 33,000 square foot house. Everything on the inside is authentic and came from different European castles and estates. And I think it was just too much space for them to actually live out of. So they lived there for about 10 or 11 years. It was built in the late 1990s. And yeah, they decided to sell the property and move on, and they left all the furnishings behind, and it's been an event venue really ever since then. It's a really crazy place where it feels like you're on the English countryside and like in this secluded castle, but it's 10 minutes from Short Pump. It almost is like culture shock a little bit, going from the town center and malls and restaurants and hotels and like all these like normal pieces of civilization, and then you go out to Dover and it feels like you're just like transported to England and really secluded. So it's a nice place for people to go to feel like they're in a really secluded estate, like they get the element of privacy, but people can still get to it really easily and quickly, which I think is nice. Just for guests, they can get there quickly.
Yeah, the location's definitely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the process like once someone decides to have their wedding at Dover Hall? Like, what are all the steps in the process? What are all the things that you guys do for your couples or event hosts?
Mm-hmm. We usually keep a pretty like open line of communication with our clients. I know every venue is very different and includes different things. So we do have catering in-house, so we're able to do a lot of menu planning with them, private menu tastings. And we also like to keep a really collaborative experience working with our vendors too. So we will actually like tailor make vendor recommendations to every one of our clients instead of having just a set list, so that we can be a little more interactive with them and be recommending people to them that we have really positive experiences working with, but also people that we know are going to kind of fit in line with what the individual couple's vision is, because every wedding is so different and every couple is so different. So it really is just lots of planning meetings. We do about 40 to 50 weddings a year, so we really like to encourage people to do what fits well in the house, but also find unique ways to use the spaces, because it's a 55-acre property. There's a lot of space to use, and we definitely want to make sure that people are utilizing that. And we do what we can to work with vendors to kind of take all the stress out of planning, make things really seamless, and then couples can come and just enjoy their day, and we'll really take care of the rest.
So what's a typical event day or wedding weekend look like for you? Because I know you guys can offer rooms, wedding party and family to stay. So what does that look like?
So we do have lodging, which is a really fun inclusion. It's even fun for our couples. They can come back for anniversary stays later on, which is just like a nice little nod for them to celebrate. We have lodging that's available for guests to stay the evening of their wedding, so it turns it into more of like a destination wedding location. They'd be able to come on site the day of. They do get full access to the house for 12 hours, so it's a lot of time for them to be able to get ready in the dressing rooms and all the different beautiful suites and really enjoy their time throughout the entire day. Lots of different ceremony options and reception locations, so they really get to just have that full experience over the entire day, and then they can always stay that evening, which is really fun. They could do like a little after party with their overnight guests, and even a bigger brunch on Sunday can be really fun as like a farewell event. So we like to find ways to treat it really as an entire weekend and not just a day. So it's a lot more experiential than them just coming in for a single day.
Yeah. What are all the role, like there's so many people there, I feel like, on an event day from Dover.
There are a lot of people.
And what do they do?
Yeah, so we definitely make sure there's no shortage of Dover Hall staff on wedding days. And part of it's, I think, being attentive to clients, and part of it's just because that's our favorite thing to do, is be there on a wedding day. So I manage the sales department, and then my colleague Allie is an event sales manager. So she or I are usually there during the day, really just to greet the clients when they arrive, oversee vendor setups so that people really know where they're going, and make sure the house is being treated properly. And then Melanie is one of my colleagues who manages our catering staff. She's a director of hospitality, so she usually picks up a lot of the logistic details with clients closer to the wedding date. And she's there really overseeing catering management and all the nitty-gritty things that happen during the reception. But we have a full banquet staff. There's 2 owners of our management company who one of them is usually there for the entirety of the wedding day, and then lots of other people that like to come and be involved. So
yeah, it's always a full house, I feel like.
mm-hmm.
So what would you say is your special something? Like what makes Dover Hall like unique and different than everybody else?
Well, I think the easiest answer to that question is the house itself is just such a unique space. I've never seen anything like it. I've never been anywhere like it. To have this like incredibly old world European style estate house where you get to be around museum quality pieces and just wander around the house and you get the entire venue to yourself for a day is just such a unique thing. But I think beyond that, what makes us a little different is how dedicated our team is to creating a really immersive experience. I know when people see the house, even in photos or like driving down the driveway and they see this huge giant estate house, it really kind of sets the bar very high in terms of their expectations. And we really do everything we can to be attentive to our people and just really exceeding that in every way that we can. And I think having that kind of dedication to the hospitality and like the overall experience is something that makes our team very different.
What are some important questions that couples should ask you when they're going on tours that they might not think of?
And that's a good question. I think there are a couple questions that every couple should think about and have an answer to before they even start looking at venues. One of the most important is guest list, like knowing how many people they can expect and just thinking of the overall guest experience in terms of what they want to provide for their guests, whether it's a 300-person cocktail style party or a 50-person really intimate served dinner, and kind of use it as a gauge to find the places that are going to be the best fit for those people and for that experience also. Thinking of like indoor versus outdoor events is really popular as well, just to kind of have a good idea of what you want the day to look like and what pieces are going to be the most important to you before you start looking at venues. If they can kind of check off some of those boxes before they start tours, it can be really helpful in terms of making their decisions.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the wedding day?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I definitely find that like the most rewarding piece of my job and what I love about it so much is you get to foster these really personal connections with people. And it is really rewarding to be a part of creating such a memorable day for them. So usually it just is like seeing how the couple and their families and their loved ones can just come and enjoy the day and not have any responsibilities and not be putting out fires like the vendors have to, and just being able to take the stress out of the entire experience for them is a really rewarding thing.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're all at heart like people pleasers, and the hospitality industry is definitely the right place for all of us.
Yeah.
So how has the stay-at-home order affected Dover Hall? And I mean, just like personally and professionally, like what's going on? How are you?
I'm okay. It's funny now that how are you is like the most loaded question you can ask someone.
I'm not okay.
Get your coffee ready.
We're doing all right. It definitely has been challenging to reschedule all of our spring weddings, especially because, you know, I'm just talking about how rewarding it is to be a part of people's happiest days, and now we have to kind of readjust what that looks like a little bit. So it's definitely been challenging, and just sad to not have events like, you know,
Yeah.
like everyone in the wedding industry, it's their favorite day of the week is a Saturday because they get to go work a wedding and it feels so normal and happy. And
I don't know what to do with my Saturdays.
yeah, not have that anymore is really strange. And I was talking to a client this week about how like usually I don't know what to do with the Saturday off anyways, and now we have all these days off and I don't have anywhere to go or anything to do, and it's very strange. And I'm very extroverted, so this has been a challenge for me to say the least. But we've been able to readjust our calendar a little bit, and we're being as flexible as we can be to our clients to find new dates for them and new plans that work without really compromising what their experience would be. Yeah, it's been hard. I also live alone, so like I never thought I'd be so jealous of people that have roommates, and now I am jealous of people that have roommates because they just have people to hang out with all the time. But
You can
yeah,
borrow my pup.
I really might need to.
Yeah.
And even like I live in the Fan in Richmond, and it's like my favorite thing is my friends live close, and there's bars and restaurants and museums and all these places to go. And now we can't really go anywhere or see anyone, so it definitely has been a big change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your silver lining in all of this?
I've really enjoyed just like having some more space for myself, like having ways to break up the day, just in a different way. You know, like I'll wake up and do yoga in the morning before I start the workday, and I feel a lot less rushed, just in terms of like constantly moving and going and checking everything off the list. And it definitely has caused me to maybe not place my worth on my productivity quite as much as I normally do. Which I think is a positive thing. And I'm really just excited to get back to wedding days whenever they may be able to happen again.
Yeah, and I totally get you. I'm an efficiency freak. I say it all the time, and I'm constantly trying to figure out like how to be productive and how to get things done in the most efficient way, and just like eliminating the commute, the errands, the picking up kids, the just doing all the things and running around to all the meetings and everything has allowed me to like just chill for a second. So I like that answer.
I'm also really excited to go to Target again whenever that can happen.
We usually walk there for 2 hours. I'm like,
I would use just to like kill time, you know, if I got off work and I didn't have anything to do until like 8 o'clock, I'd walk in Target and just hang out for a couple hours. But
home good. Home good.
Therapy is definitely a real thing. So what do you guys have going on that you want us to know about? You mentioned the video. Is there anything else you want to mention?
The video tour has been really fun for us to have. I think it's something we probably should have done years ago, but it's a great way for people to just get an idea of what our team is like and what the house is like before they're able to come in person. We also have created some elopement packages that I'm really excited about, especially for couples that may have had to change their wedding dates this spring but still want to get married or have some way to celebrate on their original dates. So I'm really excited about those two. We have our first this Saturday tomorrow. So I'll be out there with a little elopement tomorrow. And we even have the option to add dinners on or lodging as a part of those packages, since we still have our full culinary team and the lodging suites on site. So just finding some different ways to connect with people and ways for them to celebrate, whether it's a little different than what they initially had pictured. But people can still get married, and we want them to. So
yes, we actually have a neighbor who her daughter's getting married, and we are right on this corner. And on June 6th, they're gonna go stand out there in her wedding dress and his tux, and they're gonna have all their friends and family drive by and like basically have a parade and wave to them in our front yard.
Really sweet. Yeah, I love that.
Special. So how can people contact you? What's the best way to reach out to Dover Hall?
So email is always best for me. And I know that's like spoken like a true millennial, but email's best. And my email is just my first name @doverhall.com. My direct line can be found on our website as well with lots of other information. And we're always happy to help with anything that we can.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. And Anna, do we need to give, is Harlow there now? Can we give
there now? Guest appearance.
Well, that's been sad for me too. Anna's only a block away from me, and now she has this cute little dog, and I can't even go see him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He has this like new mimosa toy that he loves.
That's also on brand.
Food Beverage too.
Oh, so cute.
I just woke him up. He's like, "What do you want? What do you want?"
I just want to see him. That's all. All right. Well, thank you guys, and stay tuned for more details on more planning in your PJs updates. Bye.
Bye. Bye.